stereotypical rugby player for me would be male.
Huge.
Athletic.
Large.
For a cheerleader, girly.
American.
Popular. Female.
Blondes.
I think that when I started, I wanted to see if I could do it.
It's a sport that's not really understood, and there's a lot of different levels across it. You can keep going up and up and up. Even at the top end, there's still people doing insane things.
It's a very close-knit kind of community, I think, and you rely on each other and you want to help each other and do your best for each other. So I'm always terrified.
A good advice is don't let your coach bully you into competing, because you'll end up with a permanent problem afterwards.
I think that both sports, you get kind of caught in this really powerful stereotypes. You know, I think of cheerleaders and I think of blonde, feminine girls, and I think people think of rugby players and they think of very stereotypically masculine men. And actually, I think I would guess it's the same with cheerleading. If you probe a little bit below the surface, there's actually a huge diversity of, bodies, minds, souls, whatever you want to say.
I graduated from UCL back in 2016, doing neuroscience. I'm now doing a PhD at Imperial on cancer, and throughout my uni and most of my adult life, I started cheerleading. I competed with UCL the entire time I was here, ended up coaching, and then got onto a pro team and got onto the England squad last year for cheerleading, and taking a step back this year for my PhD. Make sure your team has subs, because the reason I had to compete is because my team didn't have subs. That was that was kind of like a sad story, because I did get selected and then I ripped ligaments in my hand and got put on the bench, and then was kind of given a semi-opportunity to come back off the bench, and then I tore ligaments in my shin. So I didn't actually get a chance to go on the floor with England, but I was there with them.
5, 7, 1, 3.
I think that both sports demand a high level of commitment. Physically, you have to put yourself on the line.
I've competed with fractures, fractured collarbone, broken ligament in my other hand, torn meniscus, and 2 torn discs in my back.
I think last year when I got injured was quite difficult, more emotionally than physically actually. So what happened was I fell over you actually. So it was before the game and I just fell over and something went in my ankle. I kind of heard a snapping noise, and I think it was just a tendon in the end. I don't even know if it fully broke, but basically it meant that I couldn't walk properly for a good while, and I definitely couldn't play rugby for the rest of the season. And I think that having got used to the camaraderie and the fitness and the getting outside in winter, it was really, really hard to lose that. And also to lose it because of rugby. So it was this complicated thing where I couldn't do the thing I loved because the thing I loved had hurt me, that I found really difficult. And that meant that that year's varsity, when I was watching everyone else, I was really proud of them, but also really, really wanted to be there myself. Today is varsity, which is the climax of the rugby season, the climax of the year for a lot of us. And it's my 3rd year, so it's my final chance to be in varsity. I play for LSE, women's rugby team. I've been playing for 2 years, and I play second row, so that's in the scrum. Before a game, I am always terrified. Not so much of the pain or danger, but mostly of letting down my team. I have nightmares about dropping the ball. That's embarrassing, and I wish I hadn't admitted that, but it's true.
I looked at those 2.
Shit.
What did it look like?
Another white one, or a Waitrosey one. Oh, here it is. Sorry, you're just filming me having a freak out, basically. I think it very much depends on who you're talking to. So older people, like my grandparents, were sort of vaguely horrified, I think would be the right way of putting it. Because, is rugby really for girls? Is it safe? That kind of thing. Even though my brother had been playing for years and no one had ever minded. I think a lot of men find it funny more than threatening. So I've been in queues for nightclubs before and had people be like, oh, go on then, tackle me. And I'm like, why? Do I have to prove myself to you? And so yeah, that can get kind of tedious.
They think I stand across a football field with a pair of pom-poms and do chants, which I have never done in my entire life. Or if you're a guy in cheerleading, you're gay or, effeminate, which is not entirely true at all.
But the thing with rugby is that everyone contributes something different, and all parts are, I think, equally important, which is something I wish kind of more people knew.
One person messes up, the whole team messes up. Like, you have to be all in unison and with each other.
It's for your team, that's why you do it. Like, you have to catch the jumpers in cheerleading. Similarly, you have to be there for your teammates in rugby, or like people can get hurt.
Someone who's a very good rugby player could be a very good cheerleader, and someone who's a very good base cheerleader could be a very good rugby player, because they share the same parallels. So they're very strong human beings, and they're very athletic because they're flipping.
I also think that rugby pushes gender boundaries sometimes, and I think I can see cheerleading doing that in a similar way. Like, there are stereotypes of cheerleaders, there are stereotypes of rugby players, and a lot of us, most of us even, don't fit into those molds in one way or another. So yeah, stereotypes I would like to see associated with rugby and cheerleading. I think for rugby, bravery, commitment, camaraderie, skill, empowerment, and for cheerleading, the same qualities I think are important in both sports, right?